Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm Ernest, and on today's episode we have a 2014 Chevy Silverado. The customer contacted me a few weeks ago and they asked if I could replace the motor mounts and the shocks, some of the suspension components. That's because they've been to a few different shops over the past couple of years that have recommended both those be replaced, and they'd rather me do it. So I've got some strut assembly, some shock absorbers, and some motor mounts. This is probably going to take all day specifically because of the passenger side motor mount. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to replace it, but we're going to give it a try. Just grabbing a few things. It's so nice working out of this truck because, well, right now I just consider it working from home. But I don't have to plan ahead and grab all the different tools I'm going to need. I can literally just grab the tools as I realize I need them and put them up when I'm done. A million times better. Go ahead and swap out these stronger jack stands, these 4-ton ones, that way I can lay under there this whole afternoon without being stressed. Alright, let's get a stool. My knees are a little sore today. Yeah, well, they're going to be a lot more sore after today. Actually, this job's going to end up taking more than today, and it's probably the toughest job I've done all year. This video is sponsored by OMT. Alright, I've got this beautiful OMT Orion Motor Tech ball joint press. You can use this for U-joints as well. Let me show you the kit and let's use it here in the junkyard. Great quality ball joint press, exactly what you'd expect. I use ball joint presses all the time, so I'll use this a few times to let you know what I think. So I just popped this ball joint here out of this pretty precarious Honda. There's a C-clip I'm gonna have to remove underneath the boot here. This looks the same quality as all the ball joint presses I've used. This one comes with more adapters than usual. Normally you have a top and a bottom plate and a couple of cups. Well, this one comes with 3 additional cups to help you do different size ball joints or U-joints. Let me show you how to set this up. Let's go ahead and use it and then get back to the video. Okay, so find the cup that fits just around your ball joint. That's the smallest one for this one. Just like that. Works like a charm, and this is a true test because this kit was able to get this ball joint out, and I know that I would not have been able to get this ball joint out with the normal kits that I rent. Because this one had extra cups with it, I was able to make it work without damaging the old ball joint. Worked perfectly, so if you're interested in a kit like this, good quality and great price, check out the link in the description and the pinned comment. Back to the video. Alright, we're back with the Silverado. Not sure if I should ever start with the easy thing or end with the easy thing, but we're going to go ahead and start with these struts. Oh, that's held on by like 2 threads. That ain't very much. Heavy tire. Alright. Nice new strut. That looks good. This might be super easy to take out. Also might not be though. We'll see. What does the warning on this one say? Don't open the spring. Or don't take that nut off. Don't get injured. Yeah. Only need that warning once. Okay, so here's what I'm looking at right here. Just 2 little bolts in the bottom. This one has a bolt and nut combo, so it looks like that might have just like that lock nut, you know, built in. So that one will be more sturdy as well. The new one will. I'm kind of hoping that doing that just lets it drop right through that hole right there, and then I don't have to do anything else to the suspension in order to replace this front strut. That'll be nice. Alright, so these look like 15 millimeters. I double checked with some non-metric sockets just to be sure. Kind of a weird size, but worked like a charm. I'm not gonna reuse these. I'm not gonna need to. My guess is that should just like push off that lip now with a little pry bar and then drop out. Another odd size, but this one fits more than perfectly, 18 millimeter. That's good. Those out of the way. Out of here for now. I'll need them back for that motor mount on this side. I'll probably do that next. Yeah, perfect. That's the easiest strut I've done in a long time. I'm gonna keep the springs off of these. I'm gonna get into blacksmithing one day. Now the reason this truck needs new shocks is because it had a ton of cupping in the tires and there was actually a vibration when you were driving down the road. These shocks did indeed take out that vibration, just that consistent vibration that increased with speed, and the tires shouldn't cup with these shocks as well. Just got one little nut on that for now. There's the others. I thought I reached over and put one on, but I put it on the center. Not there on that spring, so. I'm probably gonna have to try and push this control arm down a bit if I can with a pry bar, or put a spring compressor on this to get it past there, but shouldn't be too hard. All right, same size. I'm just gonna make sure this is nice and centered and get those tightened up by hand first. Put them back in the same spot. Try not to mess up the alignment. All right, got those 3 tightened down real quick, and let's hop back down here and do that. Both those slid into place, so looks like I got that strut lined up nice and straight, but they can twist a little bit anyways. So it's not a big deal if it weren't perfectly centered right there, but I just like to keep the alignment all as straight as possible. It'll probably need alignment after this regardless, but that'll be up to the customer to do. That's probably been about half an hour, and I'm gonna get that tightened down and I'll be done with that. All right, Benzo. Go ahead and put this wheel back on. I don't think I need to be right underneath this wheel to do those motor mounts, but we'll see. If so, I can take it back off. It's pretty tall. Yeah, I may even just drive it on those Rhino ramps to do that. All right, well that looks good. Check it out. Nice new looking shock. Got those shock absorbers for the back, and again, those motor mounts. Pretty worried about those, but I'm trying to not think about it until I get there. Maybe it's not as hard as it might be. We'll see. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and jack up the back of this truck and do the shock absorbers in the back. That's definitely gonna be the easiest one. Let's see how long it takes. I'll put a jack stand under that. All right, so now I'm in the back to do these shocks. It should be pretty simple. I wasn't gonna jack it up, but I figured it was easy enough to just roll up on these ramps and put a few jack stands hovering under the axle there. And then I should be able to reach that with my impact. So I'll just make sure I got the right size on that. I've got a pair of pliers to hold onto the nut so it doesn't spin, and should be all I need. Easy. It's literally been less than 4 minutes and that's done, so that's an easy one. All right, just got this back down. We got both of those shock absorbers replaced. That one over there, that one there. They look nice. That worked great. Lifetime warranty. Okay, here's my setup for this motor mount. The other one I'm gonna get underneath the truck. It's got to come out from the bottom, but this one I think you can actually get out from the top from what I have researched. One of the best methods is to just take it out right where that steering transmission is. That'll come out with just 2 little bolts, and then we're gonna have to jack the motor up just a little bit on both sides to get out both sides. So I'll get the jack under there in a minute, but should have enough room right there to pull it all out. Okay, just got this out, now I'll have room to work down there. Actually, I thought I could do everything from the top on that side, but I've definitely got to get underneath it to get the bolts out of the motor itself. So I've went ahead and just jacked it up because I'm going to be underneath it. It's really getting pretty warm outside anyway, so laying underneath there is nice and cool. Watch your teeth. All right, so I've just got these bottom 2 out. I went ahead and just tried jacking the motor up just a little. Because the one on this side was not really spinning freely. I think it's just because it had Loctite on it, but I was just making sure it wasn't binding up. So I got the weight of the motor off of that motor mount. Didn't really do anything, just so you know. So I think you could take all those out first, but it's not a bad idea to take the weight off either. And then the 2 from the top, I'm actually getting from the top. I'll show you. All right, and these I'm just getting from right here. That's it right there, so. It's probably as good as I can show you. All right, I just wiggled that for like 30 seconds and it's kind of popped over to here. All right, all the way down's fine. I'll go down there and grab it. There's the motor mount. I don't know if I have to reuse this plastic shield, but man, look at that, that was worn out. All right, so that side was actually pretty hard. I know I said I wiggled it for like 30 seconds, but it actually took quite a bit of effort to get it out, and especially to get the new one into place. And the passenger side was way harder, so the editing is gonna make it look like it probably wasn't that hard. If this is a job you're considering doing yourself, I highly recommend that you know what you're doing. All right, there's the difference. That one's nice and tight. Okay, get rid of this. We got the right one. I'm gonna go up from the bottom and put it in. All right, that was tough. That was, I was just telling my wife, a level 9 puzzle cube right there, getting that back into place. But it's there. So I just kind of gently walked it over till that peg finally found the hole, and now it's pretty well lined up. I can let the motor down a bit, get all the bolts started, and then start tightening them down. All right, here's my best attempt at trying to show you all the bolts are there. You really can't see the top ones, but I got them all tight. Okay, that definitely took a couple of hours, and I just tightened up the bolt on this side, the top right, from below here. It was actually the easiest, so in case you want to do that yourself. I've got to do that other side, and like I thought, this is probably going to take all day, so I don't think I'm going to do anything else today. All right, so it's just the next day. I had something come up yesterday afternoon, and I'm just gonna finish that this morning. My customer's out of town until tomorrow anyway, so it wasn't a big deal. I generally just like to do everything at the same time if it makes sense, but it didn't make sense yesterday, so I'm gonna go ahead, do that other motor mount. I'm gonna have to disconnect the battery and remove the starter in order to get that out. I might have to remove a few lines. It's probably just as tricky as yesterday, so hopefully it doesn't take more than like 4 hours. It's kind of like the maximum I'm giving myself. Everything else down there. All right, got my Dollar General blanket down here today. It's a little bit longer, comfier to lay on. Okay, here's the motor mount. So 4 of the remaining 6 bolts look like they're pretty easy to get to from down here. The top ones on the motor mount look like they're gonna be hard to get to, but easier to get to from down here than up there. But that's what I thought yesterday, and I was wrong. On the other side, looks like a little 12 millimeters holding that starter on. I forgot to grab my safety glasses, get some dirt in my eye. Let me grab those and let's get going. Okay, so I just got the starter out, but it looks like the sway bar is going to be in the way. I was just looking. The starter barely squeezed through here, but that motor mount isn't. The sway bar should be pretty easy to undo, so I might have to do that as well for this side, but just undoing maybe even just one side will be enough to get it in. Not a big deal. And that leaves the motor mount then pretty much ready to go. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the motor mount. Finally, I just used a pry bar and oh shoot, I did cut all the way through that. Thought I didn't. Well, almost cut all the way through it with the Sawzall. Thought it wasn't cutting, so I stopped right before it got there. Bummer. Alright, so it seriously has to have been at least an hour later. I finally got that new one popped into place. Man, it was a lot easier to pull out, which I wasn't expecting, because I was able to just pry it out with the pry bar. That meant I had to pry it into place, but there's no good leverage point to pry it into place. I ended up using like right here in my pry bar to just scoot it over, but it was pretty tough. Alright, I've just got everything back into place. Sway bar, starter, most importantly, motor mount. Well, thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure that you subscribe. And if you want to help me take my wife to dinner or help me buy a cold drink, you can donate at the links in the description. Leave a comment if you have something nice to say, and I'll see you on the next episode of Roadside Rescue. That's a job well done.